reached your destination.
Yep. There's that one. I have adopted a brother for this thing, which is this. I'm racking on the miles going to and from work for a long drive. So, weather permitting, and that being it not being hot as hell, I'm going to use this instead and keep the miles on my other daily driver on a lower basis. So it did not run when I bought it. It now runs. It starts anyway. I can't get it past about 3,000, 2,700 RPM somewhere thereabouts. But I do have. Where did I put that? I've got. There it is. This from Moss. And fuck you, Moss, for not including the goddamn screws on this thing, the nuts rather, because it's missing, as is the entire locking mechanism. So the interior on this actually is in really good shape. It's missing carpet, but that's easy. I just removed the seats. I'm going to redo the seat cushions anyway because I got the cushion material from the MGA, and I'll redo the carpet to something that's a little more perhaps updated. I got a sewing machine, so why not? I have to fix the indicators, so that'll be easy, I think. If I can find a 1979 wiring harness. Excuse me, sweetie. Watch out. Watch out. The top is in fantastic shape. A little bit of a something there. I'm going to put some sealant on the underside so you don't see it. Maybe get the goo off. And everything else is in great shape. It's missing a darn rear bulkhead and the spare wheel. But the spare wheel, I've actually got a couple of these things for another project I'll be doing at some point. And you can see all this white stuff. I believe that to be lithium grease. I believe it. Sure as hell feels like it. The prior owner took a lot of time to keep this thing preserved. It being English, it's coated in grease on the underside, so there's no rust. But there's also no rust on the seams, which is actually pretty important. So that's pretty nice. Same thing on the engine bay. Show you the engine bay real quick. Again, rear bulkhead, that's going to be easy. Rear tire and wheel, that's going to be easy. That's going to be a wheel that I've got and a tire from Walmart. And engine bay, 1500cc and a Zenith carburetor. That Zenith carburetor was set badly. That's why it was not running well. And I believe there's a flange on the inside. I bought the rebuild kit that has to get replaced, so I'll do that as a matter of course. Try it again. I don't know what that big ass freaking nut there in the center is, but that's that. I've got the spark plugs, the wires, the cap, the rotor, and so forth ready to go. That's the stuff you saw up there. Plus some wires I was doing as universal just to get that one replaced. That one behind the alternator, and it was broken, so it absolutely was not running right. But again, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop on this. I'm going to finish up on this, at least the darn fenders. Because I got to get this thing going. I gotta. Okay, so I am... I bought myself a really nice little car here, and it's got a few things I'm going to get done to it, and I'll have a few, 3, maybe 4 videos on a tiny little bit of a restoration on this little thing here. I just bought this off of Bring a Trailer, and it was not running. I had a carb issue that I solved, so now it does run, but I want to do a rebuild. I've got some parts coming, and you can see that some of them are there. I think I mentioned that in the other video I made here. So I'm going to give a quick once through on what I've got. Okay. This, I think I can fix that. But vinyl seats that need a clean, no big deal. Vinyl seats that are just about dead for the cushion, no big deal. I've got more. An interior denuded of carpeting, no big deal. I'm going to buy more and fix that. And I think I know why the prior owner did that. The top is in superb condition except for this little bit. I can fix that. This being my first Midget, some of this is new to me. So I think in a prior video, in the other one, I talked about how it's missing the rear bulkhead and there's lithium grease on all the seals, all the seams. This means this car literally has no rust. It's got no rust. I will need to find the the tie down for the spare wheel. Again, no rust. But I do have a Chromadora, whatever the hell they're called, a spare wheel for something I've got planned for far in the future. So I'm going to de-rustify this puppy. I'm going to repaint it with the wheel, with the tire on, and then get a new tire for it. Okay. This is not tied down to anything, but that's an easy fix. Very easy fix. Aside from dust, this is missing. I've got the handle and I've got the interior stuff to go into it on order. It's coming. The hook is there. I believe the lights work. The headlights work. I think all the signal lights and so forth work as well. I haven't tested them. Straight as an arrow. Nice, nice, nice little car. All right. One of the things I'm going to do once I get that carb sorted out, and no kidding, I'm working with a good car here. Once I clear off that wheel and get it reshot with the tire, I'm going to pull off every one of these puppies, de-rustify them, and repaint them. I've already ordered some stuff. Like I said, I'm going to do the carpet on the interior, redo that. I'm going to redo the carpet. I'm going to put carpet on that bulkhead. I'm going to put that in, and I have a neighbor who's moving, so I just picked up her pressure washer for nothing. I love it how things just come together without even meaning to. At some point, I may switch out the headlights for LEDs. These are still the incandescent ones or halogens or whatever. They're not very bright. And aside from that, there's nothing else wrong with the car. It needs a wash and a buff and a dust, but there's nothing else wrong with it. And spare parts. Plugs, wires, cap, rotor. I'll put those in, I think, after... I'm going to pause and pull up the hood. Engine bay. Let's see. I don't know midgets well enough to know whether these things have electronic ignition or they don't. I do not recognize this, but I do recognize that the wiring is different, and it goes through a different set of wiring keeper, that plastic thing. So I think what I'm looking at is an aftermarket, I think, ignition. I don't know. Maybe somebody can help me out better. Engine bay, very similar to the one I've got on my MG over there. And I want to get to know the wiring on these things. I want to understand what I'm looking at for engine management. Again, it's my first Midget. I know how simple these things are, but still, I sure as hell don't know what that big-ass nut is for or what it would have been used for. And I don't know what kind of air emissions or air pollution mitigation equipment these cars came with. I don't see a whole lot of related stuff. I don't see that canister there. I don't know what that's for. I don't know if that's... Yeah, anyway, so I've got some research to do. Truly I do. Hoses are good. Coolant is fine. I'm going to replace the oil once I get this thing figured out and the carb is all good to go. And you can see that I've got white spray-on stuff in specific areas. That's just like the trunk. That's not paint. That is, no kidding, grease. I think it's lithium grease. I think. I've certainly brushed up against enough of it to know that it's not paint. So You can see the underside of the hood here. It's in good condition too. Overall, I got a great deal, and I'm really excited about getting this puppy on the road and taking my daily driver off the road. I'll do a half and half maybe, and keep miles on the other one down. I just need to find a manual or a guru site or something to take me through all of these different systems and what I'm looking at, and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Pretty stoked with what I've got. I don't see a battery tie down on there, though. Huh. I'll have to worry about that. Yep. Signals do not work, left or right, nor does the horn. The relay for the horn does work. Where is the horn? I don't know where the horn is. Okay, well, I'll figure that as well. Maybe that's it. Like I said, that's my first midget. I do not know. So I'm happy to hear tips and tricks, and don't forget, and you also need to consider and stuff like that for when I get this thing going. I've been told that I need to replace that carb with double SUs or a Weber downdraft. I wouldn't know the reasons for or against or whatnot, but I may or may not do that. And again, I'm told that the wiring diagram on these cars for a 79 is different than others. Somebody else says they're not. Somebody says the 79 wiring diagrams are tough to find. So I don't know. Again, I'm still learning on my first MG, my first midget. I've been told I'm supposed to call it Bridget, the midget, which I think is, okay, you'll have to look it up. You'll have to look it up if you don't know. So, tips, tricks. Oh, by the ways, here think-abouts are always welcome. I always listen to advice, and I definitely take it from the folks that know more about these cars than I do. Yep, who got it to run? Ha-ha. Shit, I'm missing something. I got it to run and I got it to idle, but it does not. It's still messed up. The choke and the carburetor are still bad, or in need of adjustment. It's smoky as hell, but it's idling.